Hey, good morning, everybody. Good rainy Friday morning here in Chicago. It just absolutely will not stop here. I don't know. They say it's summer, but not in Chicago yet, that's for sure. So what's going on in the markets today? What is going on here at Prosper Trading Academy? Well, today is likely to be the year's biggest stock market volume across the board today. And why is that? Well, there's I don't want to say little known event happening today, but if you're not really in tune to the markets, you probably haven't heard about it before. But today is Russell Rebalancing Day. What does that mean? Well, over the last few years, 5-7 years, the Russell indices, both the Russell 1000, Russell 2000, which are the small cap indices, much like we have the S&P 500, we have the Russell 1000 and 2000. Well, these indices have become more and more prevalent in the marketplace. Volumes have ticked up. This rebalancing, which is happening at the end of the day today, only happens once a year. And it's not dissimilar to what just happened with GE getting kicked out of the Dow and Walgreens Boots Alliance, WBA, taking its place. So what happens is on this one day of the year, and it happens towards the end of June every year, these indices get rebalanced. And it's going to be more than likely the largest volume trading day of the year today. So we're going to see probably really decent price swings in stocks like Apple, Microsoft, JP Morgan, Grubhub, excuse me. Those are just some of them. So it's really significant, and again, it happens once a year, but it's really significant because there's a lot of money out there that tracks these indices. Passive investments, your personal investment advisor may have you in some investment funds that track the Russell 1000 or the Russell 2000. Actually, it's about $8 trillion of investments that are benchmarked to these two indices, okay? And about 10% of that money, so what is that, $800 billion, is controlled by these passive investments, okay? So what has to happen? Well, by the end of the day, okay, it's really a major liquidity event, okay? A lot of shares are going to change hands. And here's how it works. So each year, like I said, Russell ranks the top 3,000 stocks, almost every stock you can think of in the trading universe. They rank them by market capitalization, okay? Then they put the top 1,000 in the Russell 1,000, the bottom 2,000 in the Russell 2,000. Now, due to some share buybacks, other events, the market caps change over time, right? So we have to have this rebalancing, which happens once a year. And that rebalancing happens so that the people trailing these indices have to buy or sell shares in direct proportion to the increase or decrease in the index themselves. Today is that day. So just to bring it into kind of mainstream and not talk, really above everybody's heads here, let's take Apple, okay, which, as most people know, over the last couple years, Apple has been buying back its own stock at just record paces. So not only is the stock, trading at all-time highs, right now it's trading 186, but they've been buying back their stock just at an incredible pace, all right? So it's going to reduce its weighting in the Russell 2000 index, and at the close of the market today, there's going to be almost 3 million shares for sale, people that have to get out of Apple because it's in this index. Now, fortunately, in the case of Apple, that's really only about 10% of the average daily volume because Apple trades about 28 million shares on any one day. So there may not be a significant price change or significant volatility in Apple, okay? But look at JP Morgan also. JP Morgan is another widely held, widely tracked stock that has been buying stock back at just a really, really feverish pace. So the same thing, its share count is reduced. It's going to have to get rebalanced. Now, excuse me, let's look at another stock where there could be a major move in the stock price, and that is Grubhub. Okay, for those that follow Grubhub. Okay, over the last year, okay, Grubhub has gone from a market cap of $43 million to $113 million, and they've actually increased their amount of shares outstanding, not decreased like Apple, not like JP Morgan, but they've actually increased. So what that actually means is anybody that owns Grubhub, which is now currently in the Russell 2000, has to sell it. They have to sell it. And anybody who follows or is indexed to the Russell 1000 has to buy it, because Grubhub is now going to be listed in the Russell 1000 instead of the Russell 2000. So what does that mean for a stock like Grubhub? Well, the estimates are right now that Grubhub will have to trade about 4 million shares today. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it really is, because that's about 3 times its normal daily volume. So we're likely to see a lot of volatility in a stock like Grubhub. So, you know, we can go through all of the stocks, and there's 3,000 of them. That would take us a long time. We can go through, you know, the whole watch list of Russell 1000 and 2000 stocks to see which are going to be rebalanced the heaviest and which may have the greatest swings, especially as we get closer to the end of the day. But suffice it to say that today absolutely will be the highest volume trading day of the year, even more so than what people were talking about last week, okay, when we had a quote-unquote triple witching day, options expiration and S&P expiration, which is typically a busy day. Today is going to be a very, very heavy volume day. Now, that's on the heels also of what we're seeing in the news, of what we're seeing in the macro environment right now, obviously with the trade talk still going on, and then also a big announcement coming out of OPEC, right? We're waiting for that to see what happens to the commodity space, the oil space, some of the refiners. We're going to have a very, very busy day today. Lastly, if the Dow closes down today, okay, it will be the 9th consecutive day in a row that the Dow closes down. Unbelievably, even through the crashes that we have seen in the marketplace back in '87, back in early 2000 when the NASDAQ crashed, and then back in the financial crisis of 2008 and 9, we did not have 9 days in a row of the Dow being down. It's been almost 40 years since that happened. Now, is that really significant to the overall picture of the marketplace? Probably not, though it may start to signal a shift in the market, right? We've seen all this great economic news, but how much of that is now built into the marketplace? Are investors, as the retail, you know, investor, now starting to say, all right, I've got to take some out of my portfolio, and then with bond yields going up as well, you know, and the 10-year again approaching 3%, maybe this is a time where people are taking money out of the stock market, putting it to use elsewhere. So that's my diatribe for the day here at Prosper. Just wanted everybody to just be on the watch today. If they start to see, as the day progresses along, some kind of odd trading, some really, you know, a little extra volatile trading, especially in those Russell 3000 names, we'll see what happens here. We will be set to take advantage of any odd move that we see in the marketplace today. Looking at volatility, we will be on the ready to deploy our capital to try and you know, get something that we think makes sense. Now, as let me find my paper here, as we always say, that stock and stock option trading involves a substantial degree of risk, may not be suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Have a wonderful day, everybody. A wonderful weekend. We'll see you in the option volatility room here at Prosper Trading Academy or one of our other signal rooms. Have a great one. Bye-bye.